A place where we seek refuge, security, and solace is our home. However, within the privacy of our personal residence, there is a susceptibility that is frequently disregarded in favor of the familiar. These 5 anecdotes explore the eerie realities experienced by individuals who were confined to their residences at night, where they confronted threats that surpassed the boundaries of their 4-walled spaces. Amidst the tranquility of the night or the ordinary occurrences of daily existence, these people encountered profoundly distressing situations that served as a poignant reminder to all of us of the precarious nature of the shelter we believe we have. Unsettling phone calls that disrupted the peace and menacing intruders skulk in the shadows. Each narrative reveals a distressing chapter in the chronicles of solitary experiences. As we explore these narratives, we are confronted with the disconcerting reality that occasionally, the most formidable dangers reside within the boundaries of our personal residences, rather than outside our front doors. Prepare yourself to be transported through the eerie anecdotes of individuals who ventured into solitude, only to confront the most sinister facets of the human condition. The following are 5 detailed accounts of harrowing genuine home alone experiences. 1. The Night Stalker in the Basement. Sarah, an unaccompanied woman, was in her suburban residence late one evening. As she prepared to retire for the evening, she became alarmed to discover an unusual sound emanating from the cellar. Initially, she ascribed the sound to the house adjusting. However, it endured, intensifying in volume and differentiation. Sarah, troubled, retrieved a flashlight and deftly descended the stairs in order to investigate. She reached the base of the stairs when she detected a groaning sound emanating from behind her. She illuminated the darkness with her headlamp as she turned, uncovering the form of an unshielded intruder who was descending the stairs in pursuit of her. Sarah rapidly sought an exit route, her pulse racing with terror as she was rendered motionless. Sarah, filled with adrenaline, hurriedly returned to the upper levels and made a hasty dash to the closest telephone in order to dial the authorities. Within minutes, officers invaded the property and sirens began to sound outside her residence. Evidence emerged from the cellar search, indicating that the intruder had been surveilling Sarah for several weeks and collecting data on her daily activities. Even after the intruder was apprehended, Sarah could not shake the sensation that she was being observed. The incident shook her to her very core, an unsettling reminder of the precariousness of being at home alone. 2. The horrifying telephone calls. During the absence of her parents, an adolescent girl named Emily was left home, unattended one evening. She received an unfamiliar phone call while engrossed in her phone while lounging on the couch. When she responded, the other end was devoid of any sound. Emily hung up, assuming the number was incorrect, and returned to her previous activities. Despite this, the phone calls continued, each interspersed with unsettling silence or veiled threats. Emily felt a surge of dread upon realizing that she was being deliberately subjected to harassment. Despite securing every door and window, the phone calls persisted, intensifying in frequency and threatening nature as the hours passed. Emily, overcome with fear and uncertainty, ultimately dialed 911 and provided the dispatcher with an account of the situation. Officers arrived at her residence within minutes and immediately began tracing the origin of the calls. It was discovered that the caller was a troubled person who had been following Emily from a nearby location. After the stalker's apprehension ultimately brought an end to the ordeal, Emily found it difficult to return to her own residence at night, afflicted by the recollection of the eerie phone conversations. 3. The invasion of privacy. Upon the Peterson family's return from their weekend retreat, they were taken aback to discover their residence in a state of disarray. Furnishings were inverted, drawers were extracted, and valuables were dispersed across the floor. Their absence brought to light the fact that their residence had been the target of a burglary. While assessing the extent of the destruction, Mr. Peterson observed an anomaly, a diminutive camera, concealed amidst the disorderliness in their bedroom. He realized with an intensifying sense of unease that the intruders had not only pilfered their possessions, but also infringed upon their privacy in the most intimate fashion conceivable. As Mrs. Peterson realized that strangers had been observing their every action, even when they believed they were secure in their own residence, the revelation sent shivers down her spine. 4. The persistent visitor. A man named Jason was unaccompanied in his apartment one evening when he became the target of a succession of forceful taps on the door. He opened the door, anticipating the presence of a neighbor or acquaintance, only to discover that no one was inside. He dismissed the incident as a hoax, shut the door, and resumed his previous pursuits. Despite this, the pounding persisted sporadically throughout the night, intensifying in volume and persistence with each passing moment. Upon realizing that no one was standing outside his door, Jason began to feel a growing unease. However, the persistent knocking continued, as if someone were determined to attract his attention. Fearing that someone was attempting to break into his apartment, Jason eventually contacted the police because he could not shake the feeling of being observed. Officers conducted an exhaustive search of the building upon their arrival, but discovered no indications of an intruder. Following its abrupt initiation, the pounding ceased, leaving Jason feeling uneasy and on edge. 5. The unexplained footsteps. Emma resided solitary in a compact urban apartment. During her preparations for bed one evening, she became aware of the distinct echoing sound of footfall in the corridor beyond her door. Initially, she attributed the sound to a neighbor returning home late at night, but the footfall persisted throughout the night, intensifying in volume and persistence as the hours passed. Emma, unable to fall asleep, awoke in bed, her pulse racing with dread as the footsteps outside her door paced erratically. She contemplated contacting the building manager or the police. However, her decision was impeded by a nagging apprehension that confronting the entity or individuals loitering in the hallway would exacerbate the situation. Emma fell asleep eventually, overcome by exhaustion, with the reverberation of footfalls still resonating in her ears. The following morning, upon her awakening, the environment was eerily silent, as if the occurrences of the previous evening had been a mere figment of her imagination. However, Emma was unable to escape the unease that lingered in the pit of her stomach, a constant reminder of the terrifying incident that had occurred in her home during the dead of night. These anecdotal accounts function as disconcerting reminders of the susceptibility that individuals expose themselves to when they are alone at home, as well as the disquieting situations that may transpire unexpectedly. These narratives serve as a poignant reminder that the confines of one's household are not perpetually impregnable. As we traverse the solace and limitations of our personal residences, let us maintain a state of alertness, for concealed perils may linger in the tranquility. These stories caution against underestimating the possibility that darkness may intrude upon our residences when we are alone, whether it be the sound of footsteps in the night or the creaking of a floorboard. As we conclude this journey through the unsettling true home alone narratives, we are left with a profound awareness of the vulnerabilities we face within the confines of our own homes. These accounts serve as sobering reminders that danger can lurk in the most unexpected places, even within the sanctuary we call home. From the terror of encountering intruders in the dead of night to the haunting echoes of footsteps in empty hallways, each story underscores the importance of remaining vigilant and prepared, even when we feel most secure. May these tales prompt us to heed the subtle warnings of our surroundings and to never underestimate the potential threats that may encroach upon our homes. Let us embrace a sense of awareness and caution as we navigate the sanctuary and the shadows within our own dwellings. Thank you for joining us on this unsettling yet enlightening journey, and may you find comfort in the knowledge that awareness and preparedness can help shield us from the darkest corners of our own homes. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and may peace reside within your walls. Would you like it? Hit the like button and subscribe to our channels for more interesting and informative videos.